Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Tampa Native Show, this is Mr. Ted Freewald, owner-operator since 1952 of the Ruskin Family Drive-In Theater right here in Ruskin, Florida. And he's going to allow me the privilege of starting the second feature tonight, which is Moneyball. Ted, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
And we're going to start the feature now. So, Ted, show me how to do it.
Shame on you. I thought the girls were going to say.
Here we go. This toggle goes up. This starts the projector. And this lights the lamp. And there's your sound. Ladies and gentlemen, the second feature is underway, Moneyball. This, once again, is Ted Freewald. We're so happy that he's here with us, and he's still upholding the tradition of drive-in theaters. Ted, thank you so much. We'll talk more to you a little bit later.
He's still standing up to 79.
79 and moving like a champ. Ted. Moving like a champ.
That's a wrap.
I remember Tampa, the way she used to be, the places we would run to, the faces we would see. Yes, I remember Tampa, her sweet, soft memories, a city rising on the move, a simple yet progressive groove. Yes, I remember Tampa, she remembers me.
Hello and welcome to the Tampa Native Show. Stay tuned now for the most entertaining webcast from the studios at Tampa Digital in Ybor City, Florida. Join your hosts Mario Nunez, Steve Canella, and the 15-Minute Girl as they celebrate growing up in Tampa. From Shock Armstrong to Shakey's Pizza, from Braddock Street to Buffalo Avenue. Get ready to call in and tell us your stories, because sharing your memories has never been this much fun. And now, Mario Nunez and Steve Canella.
She remembers me.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Tampa Native Show. My name is Mario Nunez. I'm seated alongside my broadcast partner.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Steve Canella. Thanks for being here tonight. And backed by popular demand, Tampa Drive-In Theaters, Part 2.
Isn't that just a great topic? We want to take a minute to introduce to you also the 15-Minute Girl who's just off to the side. And darling, say hello to everyone.
Hello, everyone, and hello, darling.
Listen, backed by popular demand, for those of you that weren't with us last week, you're in for a very special treat. For those of you that were here last week, you're in for a very special treat, a little bit more, because we can't seem to get enough of drive-in nostalgia now. This past Saturday night, we had the occasion, as you saw in that footage, and if we could, up at the top of the show, afford us a disclaimer, at least a little apology. We did that with our little handheld flip cam, and the omnidirectional microphone on that flip cam is pretty good, as you can imagine. It picks up all the sound, but it does pick it all up. So if it was a little bit loud, forgive us. We wanted to introduce you to Mr. Ted Freewald, the generous owner of the Ruskin Family Drive-In Theater. Just down 41, just a little bit south of Big Bend, a little bit south of Gibsonton, about 25 minutes from the Ybor City area, headed straight south. What a wonderful time we had.
Been there forever.
Been there since 1952.
Wow.
And most of that equipment that you saw there has been there for about that length of time also, since about the 1960s. Ted has told us that by next year they're going to have to convert that to all digital, because unfortunately that's the way of the future. And Ted's still working with the technologies of yesteryear. And effective as it may be, but if he doesn't make that conversion in the next year or so, he's going to lose the ability to show movies, and we don't want that to happen.
You know what fascinated me, Mario, was the spool was as big as this table here.
Yeah,
no,
it was incredible.
It was fabulous. He gets the canisters in what you would think is about an 18-inch normal standard size. He gets about 6 of those for one feature length. He has to literally splice them together and then lay them out on that spindle that you saw, about the size of this table, and that feeds in through the projector. And it was just a wonderful night.
Great to see that.
We have pictures of that event, and we probably should start showing those right away, because those that were there with us, and there were numerous.
We had a great time, didn't we?
Yeah, we had a wonderful wonderful time. We're going to do it again. Well, we'll start off with the with the picture. That's your host Mario Nunez. You see, what happens is Ted typically picks a small child to do the honors and light the lamp and start the projector.
This time was a large child, right?
And what you didn't see was me pushing the young lady out of the way to get in there and do this. And then, of course, Ted, what he does is he passes out a little certificate like that, letting everybody know that you were the chosen junior projectionist, of the night. And of course, you can see I'm all smiles there because it was great for me to be able to do that. But let's go ahead and roll through the photographs, and as they come up, we'll let everybody know. Stevie, who's that in the photograph with us?
Well, that's Lisette. And
Lisette Gonzalez.
And of course myself and you.
And what were you doing there?
Well,
Lucky
actually,
winner.
last week she was a winner of the Bolita drawing.
She won our Bolita drawing.
And she won the Tampa Native shirt, as you see here.
Absolutely.
And I'm so glad Lisette and Isaac came out that night. We had a
Lisette,
great
Isaac,
time.
their lovely
We had a
granddaughter.
big group, too.
Yep. And Tina was out there with us.
There's
as well.
Isaac right there.
Yeah, there's Isaac. And what a sweet car Isaac brought out with him, huh?
Oh,
I
nice.
love that
little
car.
Drop top cherry red
Perfect for
Volkswagen.
driving.
Perfect for the driving. And we had great weather that evening too, and it was packed.
We sure did.
It was the first good weather night of the season, and boy, did he have a full house. Ted was really pleased about that.
And you know, we had some little bit of mosquitoes at the beginning, but they went away after about 20 minutes.
Yes, and look at this
Uh-oh.
picture here. This is one
This
of my
is funny.
favorites. Yeah, this is one of my favorites. This was during the first
Fran's
feature.
not gonna be-
Yeah, this is not at all. This is during the first feature.
This is embarrassing.
Yeah, this was the scaly part of Puss in Boots, and I think that's Stevie there. He's holding up the blanket because what you don't see there is just underneath in that hoodie there is Miss Fran Costantino.
Sound asleep?
Yeah, sound asleep. She was taking a little nap because I think what happened was finally when those pasteles de guayaba got to the bottom there, she had a high blood sugar episode, and there she went to sleep.
Well, look at the look on my face. This was a children's show.
Yeah, I
but
don't
Puss
understand,
in
but it
Boots.
was Puss in Boots,
Cartoon.
with Antonio Banderas. I don't know. I don't know what was so scary, but it was pretty good. Oh, here
There
we
she
go.
is.
There's Fran before she fell asleep, and Michael and Kathy White were with us as well. And you guys, listen. The next time we do one of these events, we want to encourage everybody that's out there. If you haven't been to a drive-in in a while, this is the drive-in you want to go to. Ted has some strict rules. There's no loud music playing. There's no alcohol. It's a family environment, and you know what?
Right.
He expects everybody to abide by his rules, and everybody has a great time. The movie stopped twice on us because Tico was doing something funky, sending a surge through the system.
Yeah, that was weird.
And as it turns out, it blew out 2 fuses. Well, he was all over that, and
you
he
know
changed
what?
out those fuses.
No one honked. No one complained.
No
at
one
all.
complained. No one
He's got
honked,
loyal
no one was
customers.
yelling. Yeah, since 1952.
Yes.
As he explained to us, Stevie, he's working on his 3rd generation now.
Right.
He saw the parents, the grandparents, the parents, and now the children. This is Miss Diane inside the booth, and that's what you see when you first drive in to the theater. And of course, she gives you the briefing, lets you know you can't sit on your cars, and if you're going to have your chairs outside, you want them in front of your cars and not in the alleyways between the cars. Well, what a great night we had.
It was packed too.
It was, well, speak
Oh,
of the
look at this.
pasteles, yeah. Where do we get those pasteles?
Thanks to Juana Nemi Santayana from Amarili's
Yep.
Sandwiches and More.
We were just there today.
These were fantastic. And Fran brought some cafe con leche. She brought a canister, but the cafe came from Amarili's as well.
Yes, it did.
And stayed hot all night.
All day. All night and all day.
Right,
Look,
exactly.
and if you don't believe us, well, next time we want to extend the courtesy of
Have
the
the best
invitation
time.
to you right now. If you haven't been to the drive-in in a while, this is the drive-in you want to go to. We're going to do it again probably in November, Steve, would you say?
I would say so, yeah. And you know, that was the first time I've been to a drive-in in probably over 30 years. 20th Century was the last drive-in I went to.
It was just one of those
it was
things that we decided to do, and
Brought back a lot of memories.
researching and doing some research for the show. 15-Minute Girl and I went out the week before, and then we got a good group together to go, and everybody had a great time.
And tonight we're going to bring back more memories with
Yes, we are.
other pictures and other stories
Yes,
and
we are.
callers.
And welcome in new people.
Yeah, and welcome new people as well.
Today we
It's
went to
gonna be great.
Amarili's and we had a great lunch today at Amarili's. We did what we do every Wednesday, which is to say the Tampa Natives Show Day All Day Special. Which, Steve, what is that lunch again?
Well, that is my favorite, arroz blanco con huevos fritos.
Arroz blanco con
Which I
huevos
love
fritos.
saying.
Yeah, and we did a little bolita drawing while we were there too.
Oh, we did.
Because
We
Juan, generous as he can possibly be, gave away 4 of the all-day specials. And our winners today were.
Well, we have Albert Padron.
Can you read it without your glasses?
Oh, I sure can.
All right.
Albert Padron, Alan Fernandez, Roddy Alvarez, and of course Phil Testa.
And Phil Testa.
Thanks
So
for coming out, guys.
we do that every Wednesday. About 11:30 we start to gather. By noon, high noon sharp, we do our drawing, and usually by about 12:30, 12:45, that little core group vacates the premises. But we want to pack the house next week. So if
It
you
was
guys
pretty
are,
packed
yeah,
today.
it was.
Yeah, I couldn't get a place to park at all. I had to circle around a couple times.
That's a good problem to
Yeah,
have,
it
Mr.
is.
Santayana.
Yes, I don't think he's complaining.
And Amy as well. You know what? I think what resonates so much, Stevie, with our fans and our viewers about our show is probably the fact that, you know, just like the song at the top of the show, brilliantly written, composed, produced, and sung by Mr. Mike Maluha, lets everybody know, I remember Tampa the way she used to be.
Well, Mario, Tampa, in a way, it's a tale of two cities, if you think of it that way. We have the old Tampa that we all know and we all remember.
Right.
And you have the new Tampa, and it's a little different. But the show does focus on the Tampa that we know. And
the fondness and the richness of our history,
Absolutely.
the fondness that we have towards each other, the fact that we are one big extended family, and our show tries to embrace that. And we try to do that each and every week by bringing up things like the drive-in theaters that were near and dear to so many of us.
Speaking of our fans, how about Mr. Rick Parnell?
How about that, Mr. Rick Parnell?
There's Ricky T. Parnell. Tell us a little bit about Ricky T. Parnell,
Ricky
Steve.
T. Parnell, this picture was taken in Curitiba, Brazil.
You say that very well.
Thank you. As good as Oros Blanco con huevos fritos. And anyway, he has his Tampa Native shirt on, as you can see, and that's his wife and daughter.
Ricky never misses a show.
No, he never does.
Ricky never misses a show.
He's probably watching right now.
And he's watching all the way from Brazil. He's one of our most ardent, strident. I mean, he's hard by our telecast. He contributes every week. He sends us an email. And when he was here all the way from Brazil in October, Steve met up with him, gave him that shirt, and look at what he's doing there. He's representing.
And he said he's the only Tampa native in Brazil wearing that shirt, at least.
Of course. And Brazil, the last time I checked, is a very densely populated country.
Yeah.
Very
good on
so.
you, Ricky T. Parnell, our deep South correspondent. We love you. We're so happy that you're out there and watching us. There's about a two-hour time difference this time of year, maybe three, because I think we fall back, they go forward. It's kind of one of those things. So he's got to make an effort to stay up late to watch us.
That's right.
It probably is around 10 or 11 right about now over there in Curitiba. Well, we've got big things happening this weekend as well. One thing about our schedule, Stevie, it is never dull.
It's full.
And our dance card is full.
My calendar is always full.
Yeah. So we're going to tell you a little bit about what's coming up this weekend. Last week we previewed it. This weekend, the 12th, at the Florida State Fairgrounds, is the 24th annual India Fest. Now, what happens at the India Fest, you might ask? Well, it's a celebration of the Indian culture and all things Indian. Between here and Tampa, between here and Orlando, we found out last week at the press conference, there's roughly about 25,000 Indian American residents. And what's happening this Saturday, which is very special, $8 will get you in. And for your $8, there's going to be a group of 50 to 60 doctors volunteering their time, and they're going to be doing free health screenings. Screenings for hypertension, high blood pressure, diabetes, peripheral artery disease, and asthma, people with COPD. And that's all free. So if you want to get checked out, pretty comprehensive check, 12 noon at the Florida State Fairgrounds. You'll have signs there letting you know which exhibit building they're going to be in. Join us. We've got a little promo that we'd like to show you now. All about that event coming up. Let's watch.
We're going to have a good time.
Tampa Bay's India Festival has become one of the most popular Indian cultural events in the United States. India Festival was first hosted in 1988 at University of South Florida's Sundome.
But this year it seems great, and like a lot of people came. Like
every year, it's getting better.
it's getting better.
Due to its ongoing success and continued growth of the Indian population in the U.S., many cities now host their own India Festival. However, none so far surpasses the magnitude of the Tampa Bay India Festival, which has become the tradition for the Indian community. Although the dances are the highlight, the variety of food, cultural items, as well as a wide array of fashion, clothing, and jewelry displayed by vendors attracts a wide cross-section of tourists and Americans alike.
celebration of all things Indian culture, and we can't wait because we sampled a little bit of that last week. The food is amazing, the colors, the drink,
Jewelry.
oh, the jewelry, and the and all the different colors. So listen, come with us on Saturday. Now, for those of you that are just joining us, welcome back. This is the time we want you to get to your phones, pick up your phones, as we say on television. Operators are standing by, so callers, do pick up your phone. The number is 813. Stevie, give it to them.
813-526-0816.
That's 813-526-0816. We want to hear all your drive-in stories. In the meantime, we're probably going to show you some pictures here in the next few minutes to get you kind of excited.
Some really good pictures.
Yeah, to get you in the mood.
Rare.
We'll review some of the ones we showed last week. For those of you that are just joining us, you'll see those for the first time and just kind of get that conversation started. Darling, do you see anything out there on the web chats?
Yes, we have Dan Mikos is online.
Dan Mikos.
We have Dan Perez is online.
Oh, of
Emilio
course.
and Mary Ellen Garcia.
Awesome.
Julius Stort. Hi, Julius.
Hey, Julius, we saw him today.
Yeah, we sure did.
And that's it for now.
Very good.
Okay, good.
Callers, pick up that phone and give us a call.
Now we know you have turned down
When you do call in, make sure that you just turn down your viewing device so that echo and that feedback doesn't kind of throw you off in that conversation that we're about to have with you.
But everybody has drive-in theater stories, so we all have fantastic.
Question of the day, Stevie.
That's another good one.
Here we go. What was your favorite? Concession stand or playground?
Well, I have to say playground when I was a kid. Last Saturday was concession stand.
Well, there you go. And you have to qualify that because, you know, when you are young and you've got a 20-minute break there between features, you got to decide, hey, am I going to go to the playground and play with the other kids that are there and get on that swings and get on that little merry-go-round thing? Or am I going to go get a soda and get a pizza? Well, the pizza takes a couple minutes to make.
The pizza was fantastic.
Pizza was amazing.
Very, very good.
Yep. And made fresh. And made fresh over there. None of that. It was none of that frozen stuff. So there's your question of the day. So when you call in, make sure that you tell us concession stand or playground. I think the older kids probably opted for the concession stand.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think so too. And your bolita drawings, don't forget.
Yep.
Get on our website, which is tampanativeshow.com.
1 through 75.
Are they? Bolita numbers.
Oh,
yeah.
good. Because last week we had probably around 20 to 25, maybe 30, as many as 30. We'd like to see that all 75 bolita numbers are picked so that we know we're going to have a winner on the nose when we pick those bolita balls later in the evening. What else about Facebook we want to tell our viewers to do?
Well, one thing real quick about the bolita, it starts at 4 p.m.
Yes.
Up till 8:45, I believe. So
yeah, and by 4:01, you know that Joe Abini was on there already.
Probably
he
4,
was.
Probably 4 even.
Yep.
But yeah, draw your numbers soon, before they're all picked. But 1 through 75. And
about 8:45, we'll go to the bolita drawing.
15-minute girls, keeping an eye on that for us right now too. So
now our Facebook fan page currently right now sits at about 865 fans. We want to see if by the end of this webcast we get as close to 1,000 as possible. That's only 35. So if you haven't done it yet, sometime between now and the end of the show, click that like button on our
Like us and poke us.
Like us and poke us on the Tampa Natives show fan page. Okay? Want to go to some of the pictures, Stevie?
Let's do that.
Let's bring some of those pictures up.
Chuck, let's bring those
Let's
in.
get that conversation started, because I know you've got fun facts you got to get to.
We have that too. We have quite a few.
Look at this one right here.
Look at this. This is one we showed last week, and it's Auto Park Theater, 22nd Street Causeway on the Bay.
Emilio probably went there a time or two when he was a teenager, I bet.
35 cents admission. How about that?
35 cents. You can't even get a stick of gum for 35 cents.
No, not even that.
What's happened to our dollar? Here we go.
This was the Sundown Drive-In, which I've never heard of before until I located this picture. But
research.
1 mile west of Del Mabry on Hillsborough Avenue. If anyone remembers that, feel free to call in and tell us about it.
That means between Dale Mabry, on either side of Dale Mabry, there was the Hillsborough Drive-In and the
pretty close.
Sundown?
The
Sundown Drive-In.
I never knew it existed. And we have another one right after this. This is the Cypress Drive-In. You notice something at the very top? It's a little hard to see, but it says double program instead of double feature. So at some point that changed to a double feature.
4800 West Cypress. That's the corner of Cypress and West Shore, where the Austin Cinema and the Lowe's Theater and the Austin Cinema later came. You know, and I don't remember that drive-in at all. It must have been before.
Was this in the 40s?
It must have been in the.
remember
It
that
had to
either.
be.
Because you know what? My family moved into that neighborhood real close to there, sometime in the 50s. So Mom and Dad, if you're out there watching, this would be the time to call in and tell everybody when you moved in, do you remember that theater? And if not, it must not have been there very long. Can you imagine, Stevie, the cost of that real estate?
Oh, can you imagine?
West Shore and Cypress,
Oh,
that's
that's
probably
prime-
right. It
that's
wasn't that
prime,
long.
primo
We
real
talked
estate.
about the East Buffalo Drive-In
did.
Theater last week, and this was for our African-American residents. Of course, this was in the time of the 1950s,
That's
and you
right.
know, you had white and black separated, and you know, this was the drive-in theater for our African-American brothers and sisters.
And this was on Buffalo and 38th Street.
East Buffalo Drive-In Theater.
How about that?
Amazing. And I love the way they spell theater, just like Tampa Theater. Right?
Yep, exactly.
Theatra. All right, so callers. Do we have any callers out there, Chuck? All right.
And we know-
Check the phone lines. Check the phone lines.
We are
Make sure
getting tons of Bolita numbers.
Oh, Bolita
You guys are
numbers.
doing good.
Bolita numbers are coming in hot and heavy. Good.
Good,
That's
good.
good. That's good. Well, we can keep rolling with the pictures because we got plenty of pictures.
We sure do.
Last week we left some pictures on the table, and we don't want to do it this week. And this week's show, we're going to try to stay hard by our 58-minute time set. So here we go with some more pictures. We'll talk right over
Oh,
the pictures.
look at this, Hillsborough Drive-In.
Hillsborough Drive-In, right there, 1 mile-ish. Not even that, because it was really between Himes and Dale Mabry.
Right
there on-
next to St. Lawrence Elementary School.
Yep. And there's the other side of that
that's the
street.
back, right.
And what you have to be impressed with is the absolute sheer size
of that.
of this particular, you know, I mean, it was massive. Later on, they went ahead and put an apartment complex in there, and you know.
I don't know how many acres. And this is the actual
It's a
refreshment
huge
stand
screen.
Yep.
at the Hillsborough Theater.
Yep.
Very rare picture. By the way, this is from Johnny Sinchet. So Johnny, if you're watching, thank you very much. What a rare photo
Johnny's
that
so
is.
good to us.
He really is.
He opens up the archive vault, and he lets us borrow these pictures, and we appreciate you,
He's
Johnny.
a great,
Thank you.
Great help and resource for the Tampa Native Show.
Hillsborough Drive-In, and of course, right after the Hillsborough Drive-In with the 20th Century Drive-In. Last week we talked about this. The 20th Century Drive-In was the largest drive. They had the largest screen, if I'm not
That's right.
mistaken. We
That's
talked
right.
fun facts. It had the largest screen in the area, and it boasted that, and it absolutely drew as a result of that. And of course, it was centrally located right there on the corner.
Wonderful. We have a caller on the line.
Hey, well, let's go to that caller.
Yeah. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Dan Micus, Temple Terrace.
There he is. Hey, Dan.
Bolita number 29.
Did you click the Bolita number 29 on the computer? Because we don't take them by. Listen,
That's
you
right.
this is all online now.
It's all
Make
electronic.
sure you go on there and click that number after you talk to us.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I
You
know.
guys are great. I love you.
Thank you, Dan. Hey, give us
Yeah.
your favorite drive-in memory and keep it clean. Remember, this is a G-rated show.
Tower.
Tower.
Oh, the tower. Very
We've
good.
got some pictures coming up about that too. So
Right there on Florida Avenue, correct?
yeah.
Yes. It's, kind of between West Tampa and Temple Terrace.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
midway point, sure.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And if, as I recall, could you not see the screen from the interstate when you were driving by there? Well,
Yes.
yeah, I do remember that was
Checking
kind of
out the
distracting.
movie.
It was always kind of fun as a little kid to try to determine which movie was playing there. You know, that's
Right.
whatever.
Always
it was.
parked in the back.
Yeah, well, of
Yeah.
course.
And the tower was right next to it too. You'll see that in a picture upcoming shortly.
All right.
This is your first time calling in, right? Dan?
First time?
Yes. Yes.
Well, welcome.
All right, Dan, thanks. And welcome
Good
to the
job.
show, man. Welcome to the show.
Question of the day.
That's
right.
wins tonight.
Dan, we have a question of the day. We do this each and every week. And
All right.
tonight,
What is it?
to match our topic, the question is concession stand or playground? What was your favorite thing to do during intermission at the drive-in theater?
What age?
Well, that's
There
a
you
good
go.
question. That's a good
And,
question.
Yeah, of course. I guess everybody would
Yeah.
say when you were younger, you probably want to go to the playground and play around with the
Right.
swings. But as you got a little bit older, concession stand probably had more precedent. Well,
No.
I guess the fair question there would be, what did you remember doing the most? So if I enjoyed being a kid the most, so I guess I would opt for the playground. But you know,
Yeah. Well, I would go and try to make, my date love me.
there you go. And why not?
He was struggling with that, wasn't he?
Hey, Dan, listen, thanks for calling. We're here each and every Wednesday, so, welcome to our
Love you.
show and give us a call anytime. Thank you, Dan.
Good to hear from you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Of course. You know, and like we talked about it last week. This was, and you're a little bit red.
That's
Steve.
true.
You're
That's true. No, from laughing.
No, listen, and we talked about this last week. The reality is, this was before a time of tinted windows.
That's
So,
right.
you know, the windows didn't need to be tinted because half the time they got fogged up.
Yeah, exactly.
They got a little
Natural
foggy.
tint.
Yeah, and well, that's another story altogether. But, all right, let's see what we got here.
This is 20th
There's
century.
your 20th century drive-in.
Beneath the Planet of the Apes. How about that?
What a great classic movie that is. Maybe we can get them to bring some classics just, you know, for a weekend, special weekend over there to the Ruskin Theater. We can go watch some of those movies. Maybe they can bring some of those.
That's right. Mario, you know what? This is a coincidence, but an old forum from
Mm-hmm.
Tampa Native's webpage on Facebook, Ricky T. Parnell, whose picture we showed earlier, he writes this about the 20th century. My fondest memory is still not actually being inside, but at the Al Lopez Field where I saw Planet of the Apes with binoculars, while in the right side up top, behind first base. If the game had no action, I would just turn to the good old 20th century where Kmart sits now. You can still see the trees bordering there and the apartments that were there then. But how about that? So Ricky T. Parnell used to watch it from Al Lopez Field.
I can remember that too. You could turn around and from Al Lopez at the top of the right hand, first base side, you can see the screen.
Exactly.
So if the game got boring, hey, watch the movie. This is vintage projection machinery from the 1950s and early 60s.
12-phase rectifier.
Oh, 12-phase rectifier. Here we go. We're rectifying again, 12 phases. and similar to what we saw at the Ruskin Family Drive-In Theater. Amazing stuff. Here we go, 20th Century Drive-In again. How many of us went to the 20th Century? Show of hands? That would be me.
Oh, me too.
Me too.
All of us. And look at those
True
movies,
Grit.
man.
How
Look at
about
those
that?
movies. How about Dustin Hoffman and John Voight?
Great.
Swiss
movie.
Family Robinson.
Midnight
Look at that.
Cowboy.
The Last Safari.
They were great movies, okay? I mean, these weren't just spaghetti westerns. These weren't just like, you know...
I'd like to see Midnight Cowboy again.
I mean, these were feature, full-length, Dr. Zhivago. These were
These are
love
great.
story. These were feature-length movies.
And John Wayne's were great. That was.
And I can tell you from personal experience, bear with me on this, when the weather's nice outside, there is nothing cooler than having your lawn chair sitting outside in front of your car where you can hear the entire park is awash with the sound of the movie because basically you hear it from everybody's speakers. And you're and you get under your blankie, right, Steve?
Like I did.
You get under your blankie, and you watch the movie, and it's just very cool,
Yeah, I had
and
the
literally,
best time.
and nostalgic, and you can talk, you know.
It kind of takes you right back when you're there, sitting
really
out
did.
and enjoying all of it. It's a lot of fun.
It's an incredible trip down memory lane, just like our show each and every week. Stevie, give us a little sampling of your research, your fun facts. You got anything you want to lay on us? Any trivia? Any 20th century stuff?
Well, we have some 20th century fun facts from last week, but
come on, give them to us.
yeah, let's read a couple here.
Why not?
And by the way, the big thanks to Dan Perez for providing these pictures of the 20th century.
What
and
would we do
Auto
without
Park.
Dan
I
Perez?
don't know.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Dan, who's
But
over there watching us right now.
He is. He's on the. He's already has his.
And he's
number
already
drawn, I'm
he's
sure.
promised us
Write
that
a
he's going to
pic.
come on the show so everybody can see him at some point. But the reality is
He doesn't know that yet.
No, he doesn't know. We just sprung it on him.
Well, a couple fun facts. Here we go.
Here we go.
20th Century Drive-In. The 20th Century Drive-In opened with 4 nights of fanfare in 1952, closed in 1980. The drive-in opened with a capacity of 500 parking spaces and later expanded to 600. What do you remember about the 20th century? Was the boundary? What was the boundary?
Well, we found out last week that there were 2 playgrounds. I remembered one and, 2 playgrounds.
Yeah,
I
I
remember
remember
there
the
were 2
second one.
entrances and 2 exits.
But what's encircled the...
Oh, what we saw last week. Good
We
one,
saw
Stevie.
last week.
Good
We
one,
saw last
Stevie. Yeah,
week.
and this, I think, more than anything else, when we watching the movie last week and just taking it all in, looking up at the sky, looking all around, the punk trees.
Right.
The full mature punk trees that probably stretched 35, 40 feet up in the air. And when the breeze came through,
Yeah, you
the
could
punk
really hear it
trees, you
rustling.
could kind of hear it. Yeah, you could hear the trees rustling. And it served 2 purposes. It kind of obscured the lights from the street, and it kind of acted as a sound buffer to keep everything right there. And but that, I
saw
think,
that
more than
second.
anything else, when you sat there, that reminded me, because the 20th century especially, they had those trees all around. It was really quite an experience last week. We're going to do that again sometime next month, probably.
We've got to do that. I had the best time.
Yeah, it was a
it
lot
took
of
me
fun.
back in time like a time machine. And
But here's the
yeah.
interesting part, and we tried to figure this out last week. With these newfangled cars that we're driving now, you can't turn off the lights while you're driving. I got daytime running lights. Does anybody know how to turn off the lights out there? Because they got a big old sign when you drive in that says, please turn your headlights off. Well, okay, if I could only do that. So you turn the little switch off that your console lights go out,
Right.
but your daytime running lights are still on. So I don't know what to do about that. Any way to turn those off?
I don't know.
Any weekend
No.
mechanics out there that would like to call in and talk to us about the drive-in and how we can turn our headlights off when we're driving in so we don't offend anybody?
We saw the problem by just sitting outside in the lounge chairs. So
Yeah,
we
did. Well, we're gonna
Yeah.
go to a little break here in just a second. When we come back from the break, we want you guys to give us a call and tell us your fondest memories of your drive-in experience. Now we know we're going up against tonight. Let's see, we got the Lightning game. We've got the
Country Music
We've got the
Awards.
CMAs, the Country Music Awards.
Debate.
We've got the debate.
Right.
The Republican presidential candidates are debating again tonight. I think for the 37th or 38th time. And you know, we know that.
No
But
comparison.
we also know that you're out there maddening, trying to get in and dial in. Well, we've got a phone line open for you now. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this short break, and we want to hear from you guys. Hi, everybody. Mario Nunez here, co-host of the Tampa Native Show. We're sitting here in the showroom of Larman Furniture, established in 1931. This year, about to celebrate its 80th anniversary. And I'd like to introduce to you at this time Jimmy Calameres. Jimmy is the owner of Larman Furniture and member of the family for a long time, and we'd like to say thank you, Jimmy. And how are you today?
Thank you. Fine. Doing wonderful.
Doing good?
Yeah.
Why don't you take a minute and maybe tell some of the folks that haven't heard the story a little bit about Larman Furniture.
Well, Larman was started in 1931 with my wife's grandfather, and he and a partner was called Friday Larman.
Okay.
Initially, and then
Mr. Friday was the other gentleman?
Mr. Friday was the other gentleman,
Okay.
and then in I believe it was 1955. Mr. Friday wanted to get out, and then that's when my father-in-law, Curtis Larman,
Okay.
got in the business and bought his share out, and they had the business until my wife's grandfather wanted to get out.
Sure.
His name
At
was
some point,
Rupert.
everybody tries to get out
Yeah.
at some point.
So, and then once he got involved, Curtis Larman got involved, the business started growing, and because they had their hard times. They started during the Depression,
Of course,
1931.
31.
So, and then once my father-in-law got involved, he grew it, and then my sister-in-law Cheryl had gotten involved. And then 5 years later is when I was asked to see if I wanted to join the company, and 20 years later, you know.
What a wonderful family
here.
legacy. So once again, Jimmy, let me just say on behalf of the Tampa Native Show and all of our fans, thank you so much to you and to the Larman family for stepping up and being one of our first sponsors here in this this new show with Tampa Digital. Thank you so much.
Mara, thank you. We're excited about it. Whether you're a Tampa business or doing business in Tampa, we just thought it was a natural fit. We're Tampa natives, and we're just excited to be part of this wonderful sponsorship, and we look forward to the relationship.
Thank you again. So for Jimmy Calameres, this is Mario Nunez sitting inside the lovely showroom of Larman Furniture. Been here since 1931, celebrating this year 80 years in business. Talk about Tampa natives. So on behalf, again, of the Tampa Native Show, this is Mario Nunez saying salute and happy days.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tampa Native Show. Tonight's topic is your drive-in theaters, your favorite theaters.
And? We've got a caller on the line.
We have a caller on the line already.
Yeah,
Wow, how about
let's
that?
go right to the phone lines.
Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Caller, are you there?
I'm still here.
Oh, okay. I know who this is. Is this Hugh Perret?
Emilio?
Oh, no.
Emilio.
Hi.
Hey, it's another first-time
Emilio.
caller tonight.
Okay.
Hey, Emilio.
How you doing, brother?
¿Cómo está? ¿Todo bien?
Oh, everything is good.
Good.
Good show. I like this show.
Thank you. Be sure and turn down your viewing device
Right.
because there's a little bit of a delay, and we don't want you to be confused
hear it a
waiting
little
for the
bit.
delay, waiting for the
Okay.
response. So just
Okay.
talk to me here in the phone and
All right.
and tell us your fondest memory. Share your memories.
All right. Okay.
I can hear
Yeah,
myself.
I hear it. Perfect.
Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay,
All
Emilio.
right.
Yes, tell us your favorite memory of the Tampa drive-in theaters. Which one did you go to, and tell us any stories you
All the
have.
way from Outer Park to Del Mabry.
Oh, how about
Right.
that?
I
Okay.
told you he was the auto park guy.
We've got some pictures of the Del Mabry
I've been
Theater.
to all of them, man.
He's been all over. Well, he's been
Did you
around
have
a
a
long time.
favorite? Did you have a favorite?
The Funland.
Oh, okay.
The Funland was more. I've been to the Hillsborough. I've been to all of them. I've been to the Tower. I've been.
Been to all of them.
Now, for our fans out there that don't know Emilio, Emilio's an Ybor City born and
Right.
raised native. Emilio, can I tell everybody your age? Is that okay?
Yes, I'm going to be 72.
Anda, 72 years young, see, years young, and
Still growing,
and still going strong. And what we love about Emilio is he's just the right age, really and truthfully, to capture all of these wonderful stories and these wonderful memories. Now, you said you've been to all of them, Emilio. Tell me if you remember either the Sundown or the Cypress Drive-In, because those are two that we have no recollection of.
No.
Okay.
Now you got me there.
Okay, I'm thinking they probably existed for a short period of time.
Right.
I might have been too young.
That's the other thing too. So you know, and you know, 72 is right there, Papa. So I don't know if we've got any 80-year-olds out there or 85-year-olds out there that are watching that might remember. I think that they were just open for a short little while, and then they probably sold out.
Yeah,
I think so too.
Yeah,
I think the one on Cypress is close to the bay.
Well, it was 4800 West Cypress, and you know, Jefferson is 4400. That's only right there. It's literally the corner of Cypress and West Shore.
I can't remember that one. I can't.
Now, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and for those of us that have been here for a little while, if that was a drive-in theater, thinking about it in the terms of it was already a place for movies to be shown, logically then, you build a theater there, an indoor theater, right? So you don't take up as much real estate. You sell the rest of the property for office space, but you still retain the corner because the Lowe's was there for a long time, right?
Yeah. When are you going to do a show on movie houses?
You know what? We did that in our last season, but we may bring that back because that's another popular show.
Very popular.
The funny thing is, Steve will remember this. The funny thing is, Emilio, when we did that show in the Tampa Theater, the Palace in Florida, we had to keep deflecting because people wanted to talk about drive-ins.
Yeah.
I know.
Remember?
Okay.
So we had to tell them, wait, we're going to do the drive-in show another time. But
there was a lot of those.
So answer that question of the day, Emilio. Concession stand or playground?
Concession stand, brother.
There you go. Popcorn, the pizza. The food was
the
great
popcorn and the pizza, but I don't think they had tostones back then in the concession stand. I want you to know.
I don't think they have them now.
But I went to the concession stand to look for girls.
Well,
well, that's pretty smart.
You know, what we're finding out is that when we went to the drive-in in the early years, you know, we didn't know any better. We were little kids. We were in our pajamas, but the older brothers and sisters were out doing something completely different. The drive-in meant something different to you guys.
Yeah.
Emilio, did you mention your favorite drive-in theater?
Well, my favorite was more or less the Funland.
Okay, the Funland.
Okay.
Hillsboro, and that on Hillsboro.
Hillsboro and the Funland and Outer Park, those three.
And they were big, right? Those were the biggest ones for space-wise. 20th Century was pretty big too, though.
That was big.
And the Dale Mabry, you said you went there as well?
Yeah, I went there as well.
Do you remember the landing strip that was on the back side of the Dale Mabry?
Yes, I do.
Where the owner used to fly his airplane in and check on his property and watch the movies from his airplane. That was a pretty neat story that we were told by Mr. Freewald over there last week.
And I also went to the tower many times.
The tower. Well, you hit them all, bro. You hit them all.
He did.
Yeah, well, there's girls in all the concession stands, bro.
And that's what people do for entertainment on weekends.
Excellent.
You know? Like,
the next time we do one of these, you gotta join us so we can all do it together.
All right, tomorrow I'm going to give them guava pastries hell at...
I got a feeling.
Man.
I got a feeling.
Ready.
And take some with you, too, because, you know, he'll put them in a box and you can take them to go.
Right. Hey, listen, it's been real nice talking to you guys again.
Thank you, Emilio. Wonderful to hear from you. Thank you so much.
All right, you're doing a great job.
Thank you. Take care.
Thanks for the call.
All right.
That's
Did
great.
you say you went to the Ruskin, though? I don't think he went there.
No, and the Ruskin, you know, the Ruskin was there back then in those days, obviously, for
Well,
1952.
that's more reason why he has to come next time we go.
Yeah. To revisit the Ruskin.
That's one theater he didn't go to.
Yeah, and
well, that was really out in the boonies.
You know, it really was.
Oh, yeah.
It really was.
We got some more pictures here.
Let's show them. I mean, you know, we've got some exciting pictures now we're getting into some pictures that maybe we didn't get to show.
Oh, here we go.
Week.
Speaking of tower, look at this.
That's for Emilio right there.
There you go. And look on the very right-hand side. You see the tower?
Yep.
How about that? What a great aerial view. And see picture this this view as baseball field, baseball diamond.
You can see it.
Okay, look at home plate.
Yes.
Which is the tower. The next picture after this, you'll see the building that you see now. There it is. How about that right on the corner?
Pretty cool. Very, very
Drive
cool.
in.
Very cool.
Hey, interesting fun fact we have here on the tower is, well, for one thing, it was on the previous picture, but it's okay. We can stay on this one for now. But the phone number at the top was 31-3781. So it's only a 6-digit phone number. That goes back a ways. And there was also the picture coming up after this. It's really fascinating. I don't know if you can see this here or not, but the actual text.
Phone number again, Steve. I mean,
there it is. There it is. Okay, it's on this one. I was off the picture. But 31-3781. How about that? And, which is really interesting
Adults,
too,
50 cents.
dress as you please, smoke as you wish.
Yeah, smoke them if you got them.
How about that?
This was back in the days when, wheelchair ramp. Hell, I don't even know what that is.
And comfortable seats for walk-in patrons.
Now, I never went to a drive-in and
Yeah, I
walked
never
in.
saw
No,
that either.
I never went to a walk-in and I drove in.
But that's what made me think about, of course, today you'd have to have a ramp, you'd have to have parking spaces for non-ambulatory people. You'd
That's
have
true.
To,
That's
handicap provisions, which is, it makes sense.
Right.
You build, today you build buildings and you build restaurants with all those things in mind. But when you realize back in the 1950s, that wasn't something that they had considered in their construction. So either you got there early and you got the good space, or you didn't get that space.
Oh, another caller.
This is
How about
wonderful.
this?
Here comes. Anybody care to guess who this is going to be? Now, we've had 2 first-time callers. I'm going to go with Luis Rodriguez. I don't know where that came from. You?
I would say Hugh Perret.
That's me.
Oh, wow. Stevie, out of nowhere. Ladies and gentlemen,
Steve.
caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Go ahead.
This is Hugh from South Tampa.
Oh,
Hey, Hugh.
Hugh. Good job, Stevie.
Welcome in,
man.
Hugh.
How'd you know that, brother?
I don't know. Had a feeling.
This is fun. I mean, my favorite, as I said last week was the 20th century.
Sure.
And I go with a concession stand, popcorn, and the pizza was from the pizza parlor. As I recall, there was even an advertisement, that's where with a phone number and everything.
Sure.
That's where it was from, and that was a great place. You remember? You all remember the pizza
Oh,
parlor?
absolutely. After the football
We have a
games,
picture of that.
everybody
Corner,
goes to the pizza parlor.
corner of Gray and Dale Mabry, but a short bike ride from my house.
Pizza was great.
And one of the things I remember about the pizza parlor, I've said this before on the show, and Hugh, maybe you'll remember this too. Of course, everybody talks about the salad that was piled high and deep, and the pizza that was amazing. But what I remember for some reason is the jukebox. They had a big jukebox.
I remember the jukebox.
And I remember it was kind of cool to be able to go up to it as a little kid and pick a song. And one of the songs that I remember playing out of that jukebox was a song called Popsicles, Icicles.
Can you sing it?
I won't sing
that's
it
all
for
right.
you now.
That's okay.
I do
I don't
remember this
remember
song.
that one.
You remember Popsicles. And you guys YouTube, Google Popsicles, Icicles. And the things we remember when you're 6, 7, and 8 years old.
Yeah.
And we all
I
went
used
there.
to like alley oop.
Now,
Remember
there you
that?
go. There you go. Same time period. And you guys were so lucky. I mean, by the time we were in high school in the 70s, we still had places we could go to. Shakey's Pizza Parlor. And, there was an Angie's Pizza Parlor that we used to go to on Hillsborough Avenue.
Remember that?
Shakey's was a blast. I mean, you'd see Andy
Shakey's.
Clyde, two-reelers, they would be playing.
Shakey's was the predecessor. I'm sorry, Hugh. Shakey's was the predecessor to Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, okay.
Because that's where you went if you were a kid to have your birthday parties.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
The
right.
long tables
That's right. And they had what was his name? Shaky. What was his name?
Naki Parker.
Yeah,
Parker,
from USF.
Naki
Piano
Parker.
player. Yeah, right.
He's taught at USF and he played at Shakey's Pizza Parlor.
Right.
That's right. The late great Naki Parker. We talk
Great
about him
guy.
on the show. The straw hats. Remember the ragtime uniforms, the outfits, and they drop down the screen and they show cartoons. Usually like Spanky and Our Gangs, black and white
Three
cartoons.
Stooges.
They would do that, or the two-reeler Buster Keaton or Andy Clyde. They do that too.
Absolutely. And those big long tables and what I remember as we got older, those beer mugs were heavy and they were ice cold coming out of the freezer. And the beer was great.
Yeah.
You could
Good
see
times.
them. Yeah, those were great times.
Really good
Somebody
times.
needs to invest in a Shakey's Pizza, and we'll call it the Tampa Native Shaky Pizza Parlor, and they'll make $1 million because we'll go there every weekend.
And Hugh, I don't know what it is, but for some reason, drive-in theater food and bowling alley food is the best food. I mean, it had the best hamburger.
It is.
Yeah, how about that? I don't get it, but
It's the old grill, right? It's the old grill.
It must be.
Yeah, it's the old
I had
grill.
one of the best hamburgers at a bowling alley.
So Hugh chiming in with a
Yeah.
concession stand, very good.
Yeah.
Good job, Hugh.
And
By the way, the sound talking to you is a lot better.
Good.
I can-
Great.
there's no echo, there's no loud,
that's-
distortion. So I'm hearing you a lot better this evening.
That's good
Nice.
to hear.
we can't
Thanks,
see
Hugh.
them, but on the other side of the magic door, we like to call it the magic door, they're celebrating right now. Because there's no problems with the phone and the sound. So they've been working on it. I mean, these
Very
guys
hard,
work.
very hard.
I mean,
Round the clock.
they
They do.
hear you when you write in and you tell us
Yep.
there's an echo or there's the image is freezing.
Yeah.
They know the technical, so much so that they've actually created a phone line dedicated to solving technical issues. So no lack of want to on this team that's on the other side of the magic door. So thanks for that evaluation. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and also the picture is much more stable. And I noticed they had full screen provision before, but that would freeze, so I would go back to. But they don't have the full screen provision now, and it works a lot better this way.
Okay, interesting.
Now, when you say, Hugh, that you said the picture is much more stable, you're not referring to the talent, because the talent is very unstable, as I read.
Speak for yourself, Mr. Nunez.
The talent there is rock solid, you know. I think.
Thank you. I couldn't resist. It was too tempting.
We use that term loosely.
Yeah, of course, talent, and we use that term loosely. Hugh, thank you so much. We appreciate you. And last week, for those of you that didn't get a chance to, please go back and check out our archive shows.
Right.
Last week at the top of the show, we're going to use that clip again, Hugh. I don't want you to think that we've discarded it, because we're going to use it again. Hugh went ahead and recorded for us an homage to Rod Serling. And if you haven't heard it,
just like him.
You need to do yourself a favor. Thank you, Hugh.
Always good to hear from Hugh.
Yeah, no, he's one of our, again, one of our most strident, tried, and true fans.
Are we at that time already?
Hugh Perret.
Boys, it's that time again.
Darling, are you going to sing for us?
I am going to sing a little
Well, take it away, love.
Seems we just get started, and before you'd know it, it's the time we have to say so long. And this has been your 15-minute warning.
Nice.
Very good.
Nice.
Very good.
Very
15-minute girl.
nice. Picked it up right from the middle there. We like that.
That was nice.
That's sweet. Change it up. We like it when she changes things up. Because we don't know what to expect from the 15-minute
She always throws
girl.
us a curve, you know.
Yeah, I think we're going to sing next week. You and I are going to sing next week, Steve.
Okay, I'll rehearse.
Yeah, okay, please.
I'll be ready.
All right, here we go. Floraland. Let's bring the Floraland right into this discussion.
More pictures. How about
As
this?
we round the bend, and we'll get back to that bolita drawing in just a minute.
Guys.
We got all our numbers standing by, darling?
I do indeed.
Very good.
Very interesting picture. In the background, you can see the Floorland Theater, aerial view.
I can see it.
Before that, on your bottom left side of the screen, you know what that is?
Yes.
What?
No.
Okay.
Okay, bottom left?
That's, the big rectangular section.
Yes.
To the south of the
Ask me
theater.
again if I know what it is.
You know what it is, Mario?
No.
Okay, that is Northgate Shopping Plaza.
I thought that's what that was. Northgate Shopping Plaza, where at one point, I might be wrong on this, they had the Sinclair dinosaur exhibit. Do you remember the Sinclair dinosaurs?
I do remember that.
The big brontosaurus that was
That's
in the
right.
parking lot, the big triceratops. We're getting off topic.
We are.
Go ahead, Stevie, stay on.
You can see the little, the actual sign out front, close to Florida Avenue.
Isn't that cool?
That's great. Florida. And here's the playground. Speaking of playgrounds.
Wow, look at the playground. 1957?
1957. Before I was born. Floorland Drive-In Theater Playground. How about that?
And how about that teeter-totter?
Look at that.
Those 4x8s.
Simple.
And that, I'm telling you right now.
Those hurt, man, when you landed.
Yes, but you know what? We were so happy to have those swings available. Nobody was going to complain if you got thrown off of those things and broke your arm.
And there's a
Swings
screen.
were my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, mine too.
And the merry-go-round thing that you spun around.
Oh.
Well, let's go.
This is a 15-minute girls territory now.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Look at this. Dale Mabry and Funland, owned and operated by the same family.
Had to be the same.
Correct?
Probably
Yep.
Floyd's. Is
Yep.
it Floyd's?
Yep.
Okay.
Floyd Enterprises, maybe?
Carnival
Son of Sinbad. How about
I
that?
loved the Sinbad.
The Sinbad movies were tremendous.
They were
Carnival
very
stories?
romantic.
Mm-hmm.
Sinbad was cool.
Sinbad was very cool with his turban and all the stuff.
And here's another one.
Here's another one. Look at those movies there, guys. What was that movie? Them. How about that?
I don't remember that one.
Okay. Looks like it was a scary movie just by the
Yeah.
font and just by, that's because those were the
Well,
movies.
it was a sequel to Us.
Oh, Steve. Bing, bing, bing. That was easy.
Mr. Belvedere Goes to College. That one sounds familiar.
Almost like Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. The next video.
Now
the next image.
And this is, we spoke earlier, this is the theater that had the airstrip next to it where the owner would fly in
Yes.
and watch the movies from the cockpit of his airplane.
Yep, on the ground-up shell.
Yep.
That's what
Right.
that's what it's made of.
And next door to the High Line, right? Tampa High Line.
Right next
Yes.
door to
Next
one
door.
of our favorite buildings that no longer exists. Broke my heart the day the wrecking ball came to claim the High Life Fronton. But the Dale Mabry Drive-In was for our Plant High School and our Robinson High School fans. That was probably your default drive-in, and it was just as. I imagine though the mosquitoes were probably horrendous.
I don't remember,
You don't remember
the
that?
mosquitoes being bad, but
Yeah, the
when you're
windows
young,
rolled up
you
all
know.
the time. Yeah.
Well, you had the coils.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
the mosquito
you did have
coil. We
coils.
talked about that last week, too. That mosquito coil was vicious. Well, before we get out of here, we've got some business to take care of. This would be a good time to do that.
I think so.
It's that time,
It's that
ladies
time
and
again?
gentlemen.
All right.
Darling, do you have all those numbers?
I'm going to it right.
All right,
Don't
see
we
what
have
you
some
got.
good?
We have two drawings.
No,
tonight,
we've got, look, this is what we're going to do tonight. Something a little bit different, something a little bit special. We've got three, actually, we've got 4 drawings that
Wow.
we're going to
How
lay
about
on
that?
you. 4. Why
and
4?
we have 4 today.
Why 4, you ask?
Why 4?
I don't know why 4, because we've got so much inventory, we've got to just lighten our load a little bit. Here's what we're going to do.
What for?
Here we go. I'm going to tell you what for. I'm going to tell you what for. Steve.
Okay.
You boxed me into that corner,
Okay,
didn't you?
I did.
Done. Shh.
Checkmate.
Here we go. We're going to give away this wonderful T-shirt from Amarillo Sandwiches and More.
Right.
We're going to give away a Tampa native shirt, okay, to some lucky viewer. And wait a minute, we saved the best for
I
last.
think this is the
we,
nicest.
We saved the best for
The
last.
most fun.
This is from the Ruskin Family, there it is, the Ruskin Family
It's
Drive-In
cute.
Theater. Okay, we're going to give away
Nice shirt.
this shirt. And we just, Mr.
There
Ted
it is.
Freewell, thank you so much again
About
for, and we've got one more, in celebration and commemoration of your host, Mario Nunez's, ready, Steve?
ready.
Ring the bell. Mario Nunez's 100th, that's right, 100th pint donation of blood to Florida Blood Services. It took me over 35 years to accomplish that. I'm on my way to 13 gallons.
So proud of you, Mr.
Thank you, darling.
Nunez.
Of whole blood donations, O negative type. They gave me this past donation. These are little sippy cups, so you can travel with. And I think the best thing I can do with these sippy cups is share them with our viewers. So we've got 2 of these to give away.
Just because I donate also.
Right. We're going to call, and we encourage everybody to. We're going to call them the his and hers donations. So we're going to give these away as well. Now, the only caveat is we're not mailing any of this stuff to you, unless, of course, you win from out of state. But we want to encourage you to come there next Wednesday to be with us so we can give it to you in person.
Hey, rumor has it.
How much time do we have? Well, we got a caller, and we've got time to do our bolito drawing, so let's go to that caller.
Let's do that. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Caller, are you there? Do we still have the caller? Okay.
Hello.
Okay, looks like we lost the caller, but they're going to call back. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Oh, there she is. Turn down, if you will, your viewing device. There's a little bit of an echo, a little bit of a delay.
And I did.
Okay, that sounds much better.
I'm going to address Mario.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Mario is going to be addressed. I'm right here. Hello, darling. First of all, tell us your name. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Pam Hayes. It's Pam Hayes Bracebler.
Oh, hey, Pam. How are you?
I'm great, and I just think you had the perfect segue a moment ago to lead right into tomorrow night's Plant Robinson game.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yes.
When you mentioned that we would all meet up at the Dale Mabry Drive-In,
Dale Mabry
we would
Drive-In.
all meet up at tomorrow night's football game.
How cool is that?
Oh, wow.
Now-
So it's a bit of a discrepancy as far as whether it was being played tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday, but it is tomorrow by all indications. So I think that all of us Plant Robinson alums should meet up and have a great time. It should be a wonderful game. And the weather is perfect for football viewing.
I was just going to suggest the weather's going to be outstanding. You know, if not for the happenstance that they built the New Jefferson 3 blocks from my house, I was destined to be a Plant Panther. I went to Grady and Coleman, and I was on schedule to be to wear the black and gold, but it just turned out I went to Jefferson instead. But the 15-minute girl is a Robinson alum, so
Yes, I am.
and both of my older brothers are Plant alums, and my middle brother quarterbacked the football team there in '68, '69. So those Plant Robinson games were really, really bitter rivals, and
Oh, they're excellent. I just think that it's all about South Tampa, and I think you going to Jefferson was just as well because that's your coverage for that side too.
no, listen, but here's what you have to understand.
Good shout out.
I went 9 years from first grade to ninth grade with everybody that went to Plant. So, I still to this day wonder what if I would have if I'd have gone to Plant and finished up with everybody that I started. So I have a great fondness for neath the pines of Palmacia near the Bay Deep Blue. I mean, I knew the alma mater from the third grade. So.
Well, I have to admit that I can never, ever be in that football stadium and sing that song without tears coming to my eyes.
There you go. That stadium from way, way back.
Right.
Thanks, Pam. Thanks for calling. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely, and this was so fun.
Nice.
I caught the tail end of you tonight and didn't know if it had been talked about or not, but
Let's do it. Let's do it
for
again. No,
letting
we
us know.
hadn't brought it up, but I appreciate you letting all of our fans know too that tomorrow night, Panthers Knights. Where are they playing this year?
at Plant. This is Plant.
At that stadium. Well, here we go.
Correct.
Should be a good game.
Should be a great game. Pam, thanks for calling.
Yes.
Listen, we're here every Wednesday. Call anytime.
I'll try to.
Thank you,
for
hon.
calling,
Thank you. We appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Pam.
Have a great night.
You too.
Bye-bye.
All right, Stevie, let's get some bolito. Drawing. Ooh, we're getting right down to the nitty gritty. I'll let you do the drawing. Darling, have the numbers ready?
I do.
All right, here we go.
Okay, here we go.
And I'll tell you what, Stevie, reach in there, pull out a number, and I'll write down the name. Darling, if you want to write down the name as well.
The bottom here.
Let's go.
72.
72, darling.
72.
Closest to without going over.
Oh, it's Mickey Waldrop.
Mickey Waldrop.
Oh,
Mick. Good job, Mick.
Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine. You blow our mind. Hey, Mickey, look what you won, Mickey. You won a Tampa native.
He's on his way back from Denmark.
Wow.
Pretty cool, huh?
So he doesn't even know he's won.
Probably not. He's in the air.
How cool
he
is
just did
that?
his 10 fun facts on the Tampa Native Show.
Mickey Waldrop.
Thank you.
We love
We
our Mickey
appreciate
Waldrop. Thank
you.
Mickey. Thank you, Mickey. All right, Mickey Waldrop.
Congrats.
That's cool. Let's
Congrats,
get another
Mickey.
one.
Let's go. Good.
Get in there, Steve.
One down,
Get
3 to
in
go.
there. This is for the Amaryllis T-shirt.
Just hold this up here. It's 20.
Okay, let me
Number
go up
20.
to the top
Number
here.
20. 20?
20.
20, darling.
without going over.
Yep, 19, 18, 20.
That would be Terry Marino, number 13.
Terry
Oh,
Marino.
Terry Marino. I've been talking to Terry this week. Terry, you won. I hope she's
job.
watching. I hope she's watching. That is so cool. We love it here at the Tampa Native Show when our first-time fans win. Terry, you won an Amaryllis shirt. Come see us next Wednesday. We'll give it to you in person. She was supposed to be there today.
Or you draw the next
Oh,
one.
I'll draw the next one? Okay, here we go. This, 3 minutes to go. 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
This is for our 3-minute warning. This is
That's
for
right.
our Ruskin Family Drive-In T-shirt. And ladies and
The
gentlemen,
number is.
the number is double deuce. That's 22.
Okay, that would be.
Closest to without going over, darling.
Oh, okay. You're going to like this one. That would be Ricky T. Parnell.
my
Ricky
God.
Our
T.
Deep South.
Ricky T.
Oh, wow.
Parnell.
We talked about him all night today.
Wow, he's going to get.
cool.
Yeah, he's
Good
going
job,
to.
Ricky.
That's great. That's great. But Ricky, you're going to have to come to Amaryllis because we're not mailing it to Brazil.
That's right. It's too far.
We're not going to mail it. All right.
Congratulations,
And
Ricky.
this is a special one, near and dear to my heart because it took me 100 donations.
How many pints of blood?
100 donations. 100 pints. Not all at once.
That's a lot of blood.
You've got some more left, don't you?
Yeah.
Some more blood?
Yeah. The neat
Okay.
part about it is, they take that and they spin it out. They use it for all different, plasma and white blood. So it's very, very important for you guys to donate if you haven't. Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
Number
14.
14.
Number 14. Let's see.
Number 14, darling. Closest to.
Without going over.
14, 13, 12, 11.
Okay, that would be number 10.
10.
Xenia Machine Gallo.
Wow,
Or
Xenia.
Gallo.
There you go, Gallo. Yeah.
Yeah,
Xenia, that's wonderful.
Very nice.
Xenia, congratulations to
That's right.
all of our winners
I
tonight.
think she's a new viewer, too, so that's awesome.
That was easy.
We're friends with Xenia on Facebook. And listen, you guys, before we get out of here, we want to make sure you remember again, go to our Facebook fan page. And if you haven't liked us yet, like us now.
We got to get to 1,000.
We got to get to 1,000.
Sure do.
We're sitting at 865 before the show started.
Okay,
Real
great.
quick, we've got
Yeah, a
two.
couple
Yes,
photos.
please. Let's just show these last two Funland photos just to give everybody one more.
Oh, how about that?
Look at that.
Look at
It's
Lana
classic.
Turner,
and
Ray
Ray
Milland.
Milland.
How about that?
That is classic.
Cartoon and news.
Wow, it just makes my heart just kind
And
of.
that's Funland, too. That's
Yeah.
an aerial shot.
They've got 4 screens now. And I've not been out there recently, so I wouldn't know how they position those screens and how it works. Because if you're looking at one, if there's one behind you, if it's distracting, I don't know. But maybe we'll have to plan a Tampa Natives event.
We should
out
do
there.
that, yeah.
Next one might be the Ruskin Theater, but beyond that, we'll definitely make one a trip, a special
I'd like to
trip
check
the.
out
Maybe
Funland.
we need to check out the Funland
Sure.
too.
Great weather for it,
It's
too.
close.
Let us hear from you out there, you viewers, that if you'd like to join us, give us your idea. You want to go to the Funland? You want to go to the Ruskin Theater? Funland, Ruskin Theater.
We'll do
Let
an
us
event.
hear from you because we'll do an event.
A Tampa Natives
You
event.
let us know what you
Right.
want to do, and we'll plan that around your wishes.
You got it.
Pretty good?
Thanks to all our sponsors,
yeah.
because without our sponsors, we wouldn't be here right now.
As
And-
always, thanks
Exactly.
to all of our sponsors. And our sponsors are there on our Tampa Natives website.
And our fans.
and
TampaNativeShow.com.
we want to make sure that you go to TampaNativeShow.com and
Right.
click on our sponsors. We want to say to all of our sponsors, thank you, we love you, and like Stevie says, we wouldn't be here without your generosity and
to
your
all our
kindness.
fans as well.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Another great
fans.
show?
Another good show.
Another great show. We'll be right here next week, 8 o'clock. So until then, for my BFF Steve
That's
Canella,
right.
the lovely and
15-minute girl.
talented 15-minute girl, we'd like to say to you, salute and happy days. We love you, Tampa.
We love you.
younger, and everything seemed new. We used to have a lot of fun, yes we did, no matter what we do. Sleeping days, long summer nights, going anywhere we pleased. This love I've always called my own, a love that I've always known. The city that I call my home, the home from which I never roamed. This love affair was meant to be. Oh, well, I love her and she loves me. Yes, I remember Tampa. She remembers me.